Hello dear friends, welcome back to my channel RMG and merchandising underscore Khanrul. Dear friends, have a good day, assalamu alaikum, and a very good evening. Yes, today I'm going to discuss, you can say, with a bunch of points, and all the points are really very essential in R&D sector as well as for those students and actually all the merchandisers who are working especially in apparel industry in merchandising team, who are sourcing the order, who are collecting the order from the customer, and who are really helping to run our industry in R&D industry in Bangladesh. So dear friends, please be with me, and I'm going to discuss actually with say like what is open fabric construction, how the open fabric construction setup like warp, weft, then count wise, and then what is count, I mean yarn count, what is hang. Then also I'm going to discuss about what is the GSM, what is the ounce, and what is the relationship between GSM and ounce, and how we can convert from GSM to ounce and ounce to GSM. So all the points I'm going to discuss, and you know very well, especially who are in merchandising team, who are especially working in the apparel industry, you know what is the importance, all the points. So dear friends, please be with me. I'm going to discuss one by one, and all the point I'm going to discuss through two sessions, because if I want to do with one session, that would be a video length would be a bit long. So that's why I'll close within two sessions. So I would like to request to dear friends, please be with me, subscribe my channel. So now to the first session, that's I'm going to discuss with these 3 points. Yes, I'm going to discuss about these 3 points. Number one is open fabric construction, and see the structure EPI into PPI oblique warp count, then web count. Then second point I'm going to discuss yarn count and hank in apparel sector, and third one is fabric weight calculation from its construction. So hello dear friends, please be with me. I'm going to share one page, and through this page I'm going to discuss one by one. So please have patience and be with me. So dear friends, yes, I have showed my page. I think you have seen my page. Through this page I'm going to discuss what is open construction, how the construction is formed, then what is weft, what is warp, what is EPI, what is PPI, then what is count, I mean yarn count, then what is hang, and with the example, with the graphical picture, as well as I'm going to discuss from this construction how we can calculate the weight of that fabric. So yes, go to the construction. First, open fabric construction. See the first structure of one construction. Here one fabric construction example 128 multiplied 60 oblique 20 into 60, and this 128 is called, here if you go here EPI. This 128 is called EPI. It means EPI means, here if you go this graphical chart, the warp length is warp and width is weft. I mean lengthwise warp called is warp, and that is also EPI, and widthwise yarn is called weft, and that is called PPI. So here just I'm going to discuss later, but in shortly just have a view here. EPI, this 128 called EPI, it means lengthwise per inch there are 128 yarn. Again I'm saying here from this picture, if the lengthwise, see length, every individual yarn lengthwise, this number of yarn, if within 1 inch there is 128, see here, see 1 2 3 4 5 6, this way 128 yarn lengthwise within 1 inch. The same way weft wise, I mean PPI means 60 yarn per inch weft wise. Here also see this peak, see peak 1, see 1 peak, 2 peak, 3 peak, 4, this peak widthwise within 1 inch there are 60 peaks. That is actually defined like this. So yes, you have got some point from here, and this is what is warp count and weft count. See, warp count means this 128 yarn, number of 128 yarn, and here number of 61, and this 120 yarn count, there is yarn count. Yarn count is, I'm going to discuss later. Yarn count, it means this yarn count is 20 and weft-wise yarn count is 16. That is the actually fabric construction. From this construction we have got. Now I'm going to discuss in details how the construction is formed. See, fabric construction actually defined as the warp. See, this warp, my lengthwise and widthwise density in a fabric sheet. Again, I'm going to say the fabric construction is defined as the warp and weft-wise length density in a fabric sheet. This construction actually of the fabric is presented as EPI and PPI. That's already I have said, EPI and PPI. Now what is EPI and what is PPI? See, EPI and PPI are measured by the number of yarn. That's already I have said. EPI and PPI are number of is measured by number of yarn in a fabric, and EPI means end per inch. End per inch means, see, per inch, 1 inch, then end another inch, then another inch. These are actually lots of individual yarn. Per inch there is 128 yarn. This construction may be different. For this 128 may be 200, maybe 150, whatever. Per inch the number of yarn is like that. So EPI is ends per inch and PPI is means peak per inch. I mean peak means how many peak here within 1 inch. That is PPI. The number of yarn in the warp direction. See, EPI means end per inch and PPI means peak per inch. The number of yarn in the warp direction, I mean lengthwise direction, is measured by the EPI, and the same way the number of yarn in the weft direction is measured by the PPI. Okay, so from this here we have one conclusion. Yes, this conclusion I'm coming later, but before that I need to discuss about yarn count. See here, this 20 and 16 is yarn count. So go to yarn count. How you can measure the yarn count? Basically, see, the yarn count indicates the yarn is heavier or thinner. It means from that yarn count easily we can say is it thinner yarn or it is heavier yarn. Now let's discuss how yarn count is measured. Yes, that's very interesting. See, 840 yards length one bunch yarn. I mean this count is defined like this. So take 840 yards length yarn, then make a bunch, and this way 1 bunch, 2 bunch, 3 bunch, 4 bunch, 5 bunch, a number of bunch until getting 1 pound. It means what? It means that how many bunches of yarn is consisting 840 yards length required to be weight 1 pound. Whenever it is 1 pound, stop and count the number of bunches. So how many count bunches? Maybe there is 40 bunches. It means this 40 count. This yarn is count is 40. So it's very more interesting. That's this 840 yards actually length yarn you can call is hank. So what is hank? We have got from here. Hank means this is bunch. 840 yards of length yarn is called hank. So very easily we can say that number of hanks means number of count. It means number of hanks per pound is the count of that yarn. So through example where I'm going to make understand. Count example. Say yarn count is 60. What? Yarn count is 60. It means 60 bunch or bundle yarn. That is, we can say 60 hanks of yarn weight is 1 pound. This we can easily fix out the count, and from this we can get 2 notes. Please keep in mind these 2 notes, that will be more clear. As to measure this yarn count, here 840 yards is fixed, I mean constant. Same way weight 1 pound also constant. It means what? It means if we put heavier yarn by thicker yarn, so within less bunch, less bundle, or you can say less hanks, we can get the pound easily. It means if we use heavier yarn to be 1 pound, it need less number of hanks. It means count would be less. So have you got my point? Again I am saying, if there is heavier yarn, as weight is fixed, so less number of bunch would require there. It means number of hank is the number of count of that yarn, so count would be definitely less, and vice versa. So from this note 1 we can from this note 1 we can conclude the note 2. Note 2 is the less yarn count. I mean the less yarn count indicate the more or heavier the yarn quality. It means if the yarn count is less, the quality would be heavier, and the same way if the yarn count is more, the yarn quality will be thinner, like this. And now I think we have got the clear. That's what is this 20 and 16. 20 means this 20 hang, and each hang contains 840 yards yarn. So here this 120 yards, this 128 warp yarn, 128 yarn per yarn count is 20, and this 60 yarn count is 16. So that is called warp count and web count. So from this we can got another calculation. See here, the more heavier or denser the EPI and PPI, the more denser and heavier the finished fabric will be there, and vice versa. It means if we, the two things is here, if we use, see here, count, if we use heavier count, see here 20 count, if it's more count, I mean say it is 40 count and it is 60 counts, it means fabric would be thinner. And this 128 68 1 inch, there would be more yarn. I mean, in if it's 28 yarn in 1 inch, 128 number, then if it is 40 count, the in 1 inch there will be more count, I mean more number of yarn. So that's actually depends the if yarn is heavier or if it is denser, so that actually the construction will be I mean happen like this way. So from this actually we already have finished what is hang, what is construction. Through this picture you can say warp weft, and here also width weft peak EPI, I mean PPI, I mean widthwise PPI and lengthwise EPI. So yes, now I'm going to my second point, that is from this construction how we can get the calculate the weight. Construction, the weight calculation from the construction. Let the same construction we have taken. Now the formula, just keep in the formula in mind. What? EPI multiply 10, EPI you already we know 128 is EPI here, multiply 10, divide warp count. Warp is what? This 20, it is warp count. Then plus PPI multiply 10, divide web count, I mean divide by 16, and this result divide by 13, and this 13 is constant. We shall just put the value 128 into 20, but divide 20 plus 16 to 20, divide 16, then divide 13, and the result is 7.8 ounce per square yards. It is the unit of the weight of fabric. So here for this construction fabric, say here for construction is this, for this construction fabric we have got the weight 7.8 ounce per ounce yard square, means the fabric weight 7.8 ounce per square yard. It is woven fabric actually, you know, for woven fabric we used to use per unit we can in apparel industry the weight unit is ounce, and for the especially knit fabric we used to use GSM. And interesting is that from this ounce we can convert it GSM, and from the GSM also we can convert to ounce. And what is the relation between the ounce and GSM, and how we can convert, everything I'm going to discuss in my next session. So dear friends, for today's section that's all. I'm putting this all practical theoretical things in my description box, as well as in my Facebook group, as well as in my Facebook page. And even if you have any question, you can ask me through the comment section, and you can call me, you can connect me, and if you have a look 2 or 3 times, I think it would be very clear to you. So dear friends, please be with me, and see also have a view on my next session also, so it would be very clear about construction, weight, hang, then GSM, ounce, everything. That's all for today. Thanks.